Hi guys, it's John from DoubleSleeved here, and we are going to do another spoiler video. It's the 13th of June, and this is the fourth video with a bunch of fantastic cards. And the reason I know that there's some fantastic cards in this is because I may have accidentally forgot to press record and done an entire video without anyone seeing it. But we're going to go into it. I know how good these cards are now, so we can just go straight into it. And we're going to start with a fun little card. Not sure it's the best card in the set, but we're going to love the artwork in it, and we're going to love what it's all about. So let's just do it. Animal Sanctuary. It's a land, and it is a rare land. And it taps for colourless. And for 2 and tapping it, you can put a 1/1 counter on a target bird, cat, dog, goat, ox, or snake. I'm not sure I've seen the goat or ox synergies, but you know, definitely cats and dogs, and we've seen some birds and a few snakes. Not sure it's worth 3 to do that until maybe late game when you need the sync, but what a fun little card, and maybe it's more tuned for a very specific cat or dog tribal. Into cat tribal here with Canopy Stalker, a 4/2 for 3 and a green, is a cat that says Canopy Stalker must be blocked if able. When Canopy Stalker dies, you gain 1 life for each creature that died this turn. So a good one if you're going mass and you're going for a big attack. If they're going to block, which they have to, and they can't kill it, then you're going to gain some. Then you're going to gain obviously damage, or if they are going to kill it, you're going to gain some life. So, yeah, an interesting card. Maybe one that you want to use for some of your sacrifice decks. But yeah, it's an okay little uncommon. Celestial Enforcer. It's a common 2/3 for 2 and a white human cleric for 1 and a white. Tap target creature. Activate this ability only if you control a creature with flying. Lots of caveats to that. I'm not sure it's my favourite. Paying 2 and tapping it and needing a creature with flying. There are quite a few flyers, but even so, I'm not sure I'm necessarily sold on this card. But it's okay in a flying deck. Defiant Strike. A reprint for 1 white. It's an instant. It's a cantrip that you get +1/0 to a target creature. Obviously, and you draw the card. Falconer Adept, much more my speed here. It's a 2/3 for 3 and a white. Human Soldier, so humans continuing to get some more good cards, which is nice. Whenever Falconer Adept attacks, create a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying that's tapped and attacking. So I like this in your go wides, I like this in your overwhelm style. You don't have to make contact, you just need to attack, and you're getting that extra 1 in the air, which I do think is really important. And we've seen, you know, potentially there's a sub theme with birds. Griffin Aerie, another good one for your flyers. It's a 1 white enchantment, and at the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, create a 2/2 white Griffin creature token with flying. My words all mixed up there. Yeah, a 2/2 Griffin. Every time you gain 3 life, or say every time at the end of your end step, if you gain 3 life in your turn, I don't think it's bad value. If you've got a life gain deck anyway, and you can get this out fairly early, you're filling the board with 2/2 flyers, is never a bad thing. Now we move on to a card that I would say is somewhat strange and incredibly powerful. It's not a game winner necessarily on its own, but you get the right circumstances, and what a card to start. It's a 1/1 for 1, the Speaker of the Heavens. It's a human cleric, another human, with Vigilance and Lifelink. Straight away, a Vigilance Lifelink 1/1 is not to be ignored. And then you can tap it and create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Activate this ability only if you have at least 7 life more than your starting life total, and only at the time you cast a sorcery. So on your turn in your main phases, you're going to get a 4/4 white angel token if you have at least 27 life in standard or limited. And it's Vigilance Lifelink, so you can attack with this on your turn, gain life, which helps towards those 7, and then potentially play an angel or tap it for an angel. Yeah, I don't know what more to say. It's a great card. I love, and you'll see this, I'm getting passionate about some of these cards because love it. All are welcome to the angel's light. A lovely little quote there. We're going to look at another sub-theme here with counters, 1/1 counters. So it's a 1/2 for 1 and a white, Tempered Veteran. Human Knight, another knight, which is nice. For 1 and tapping it, you can put a 1/1 counter on a creature with a 1/1 counter on it. Okay. For 4 white, you can tap it and put a 1/1 counter on any creature. Now, I'm not sure paying 6 and tapping this is worth putting a counter. But I guess if you need the sync, then you can do it. I don't mind the 1 tapping it and putting a 1/1 counter on a creature with a counter already on it. Nice. Now this card, I don't know whether or not this is the best card I've ever seen or if it's highly impractical. Let me tell you about it. Discontinuity. It's a 3 blue instant that as long as it's your turn, this spell costs 2 blue less to cast. And it literally just says, end the turn. Exile all spells and abilities from the stack, including this card. The player whose turn it is discards down to their maximum hand size. Damage wears off, and this turn and end of the turn effects end. So on your turn, it costs 1 and a blue to basically hard counter everything. Now, assumably, this card can be countered, as it does have to hit the stack. But assuming it resolves, it just kind of says no. And for 3 blue, it might as well say take another turn. Because opponent draws a card, untaps, draws, and then you go, you know, I'll have my go now. Your turn ends. Interesting. I tried to look for if there's any negative end of turn style in standard or in this set that you'd have to deal with. And I couldn't see any initially. This is more of a, if you think the turn's going to go badly, I think you play this for 1 and a blue. Maybe you unload your mana early on and then you whack this out at the end. Maybe you know you're playing a flash deck and you want to just cut them off before they really get into it. Yeah, interesting card, I think we'll say. Enthralling Hold, a 3 blue enchantment. Enchantment aura. You can enchant a creature. You can't choose an untapped creature as the spell's target as you cast it. So it has to be a tapped creature. You control that creature. Could be powerful. We've seen Agent of Treachery being really powerful. And this is an enchantment, so you don't get the additional body as well. But look, for 3 blue, I like it. Library Larcenist, a 1/2 for 2 and a blue. Merfolk Rogue. Whenever Library Larcenist attacks, draw a card. I like it. I do. I think it's a good card, and I think it's simple. It's certainly not the most efficient thing ever, but just the fact that you can play this attack, draw a card. Yeah. Miscast. For 1 blue, it's an instant. Counter target instant or sorcery spell unless its controller pays 3. I love a 1 mana counter spell, and I certainly like it with the amount of instants and sorceries that are flying around. Turns 4 and beforehand, this card's going to work. Kind of stops the like growth spirals and things that we see quite a bit of in ramp decks. I like it. Rousing Reed, a 2 and a blue enchantment aura, another one. Enchant creature. When Rousing Reed enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has flying. No issue with giving something flying and +1/+1. And I think that when it comes in, it draws 2 cards, discards a card. Pretty good. And I think there's some good draw synergy going on, certainly in Simic, that this will definitely be beneficial in. So, yeah, decent little common. Tolarian Kraken. This one's really cracking. So 4/6 for blue. It is a Kraken, and I like the big sea creatures. Whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1. When you do, you may tap or untap target creature. For me, this is a bomb. This is a game-winning card. You're going to draw cards at the start of your turn anyway. With blue, card draw is aplenty. And if you're paying 1, to immediately on your turn tap an opponent's creature, or untap maybe your crazy angel making 1/1 lifelink vigilance cleric, or a bunch of others that you tap and you get benefits from. I really think this card sits nicely in many decks. So I know it's expensive, but I like it. Unsubstantiate, another little counter for 1 and a blue. It's an instant, and you can return target spell or creature to its owner's hand. A bit of a last minute style card, but decent instant speed, and it's a spell, not just a creature, so yeah, like it. Duress reprint. Seen quite a few 1 mana reprints, which is nice. Sorcery for 1 black. Target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. That player discards it. Bit of hand hate. Very nice. Finishing Blow. A 4 and a black. For an instant, destroy target creature or planeswalker. We've seen a bit of planeswalker hate. There's quite a few good planeswalkers kicking about. So I like the fact that you just straight destroy the planeswalker or the creature. Good card. Like to see it. Gormand is an interesting card here. It's a 5/5 for 4 black. It's a demon, and you have to, as an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature. May seem like a big downside, but a lot of decks I'm seeing, certainly in black, and I'm sure we'll see a few in a second, not that I would know, is good because there are loads of synergies with it, and it has flying, and it has trample, and 3 hands is always good. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature. We know some cards like a number of creatures to die on the battlefield you're getting benefits from. So Conrad or such. And then it's trample flying 5/5. And it sacrifices one of your own creatures, which might be beneficial for some of your other cards. We've got Hooded Blightfang here. A 1/4 snake for 2 and a black. With Death Touch, whenever a creature you control with Death Touch attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. We don't mind pinging them, and we also don't mind gaining life with some of the cards we've already seen and will continue to see. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals damage to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker. Now we're talking. Bit of Death Touch synergy, start attacking some planeswalkers, start killing some planeswalkers. That's nice. Something this deck potentially could have suffered, could have struggled to deal with. Kiavek the Spiteful. I don't know if that's how you say it, but that's how I said it. It's a 3/2, 2 black, legendary human warlock with confusion, is what I'm going to call it. Other creatures get -1/-1. Great against a mono red or a token deck. And great if you're playing a deck that likes creatures to die, especially your own creatures as well, if you're playing tokens. Some serious build around needed with this card. I'm not sure if you were playing limited and you drew this pick one, that you would necessarily say, oh, goody. Maybe there'll be some other cards that might be better with it than I've seen. And I'm sure there's plenty of smart people out there that will make a good deck out of it. But an interesting one. And maybe a really fun commander. Right, Liliana's Devotee. So we've seen a bunch of each of the Planeswalkers have got their own sort of set of cards around them. This is the 2/3 for 2 and a black. Human Warlock with Zombie synergy. So zombies you control get +1/0. And at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, so there we go, some creatures dying is always good, you may pay 1 and a black, and if you do, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Not only a 2/2 black zombie creature token, but we just gained it +1/0 because of this card. So you actually get a 3/2 black zombie creature token for 2 mana, which I don't think is bad at all, especially in decks where sacrificing creatures may give you other benefits too. Some creatures even just like being in the graveyard. Good card. Liliana's Standard Bearer, a 3/1 for 2 and a black. Zombie, so it's gaining that benefit from the previous card. Flash, when Liliana's Standard Bearer enters the battlefield, draw X card where X number of creatures that died under your control this turn. Again, loving creatures dying. I like that theme. I think that's what black should always be going for, just because I like that idea. No other reason. Liliana's Steward, the last of the Liliana cards, is a 1/2 for 1. Okay. Zombie. Okay. You can tap it and sacrifice it. Target opponent discards a card, which could be pretty powerful. You can only activate it at the time you can cast a sorcery, however. So it's not going to chump block and sacrifice in the same stack. It is going to have to be sacrificed separately. But as we've just seen, some serious sacrifice / death benefits going on. And you make the opponent discard a card, which, again, as I said, in some decks is incredibly powerful. We've now got a terrible definition on this card. It's a Silver Smoked Ghoul. Silver Smoked Ghoul, a 3/1 for 2 and a black zombie vampire. Being a bit greedy there, both zombie and a vampire. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, there's your life gain benefits. Return Silver Smoked Ghoul from your graveyard to the battlefield. A free battlefield recursion if you've gained 3 or more life this turn. Wow. For 1 and a black, sacrifice Silver Smoked Ghoul and draw a card. There you go. Why not? If you've gained 2 life and you've got 2 floating mana and you've got cards that gain you 1 life when things die, then there you go. It's free, free, free. A lovely uncommon, one that is not as powerful as maybe it could be, but in some decks, this card's going to be essential. Talking about essential, first of all, love the artwork. I love the metallic appendage. This is a one. Let me just talk. This is a 1/1 for 1 with flash. Okay. Whenever Thieves Guild Enforcer or another rogue enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent mills 2 cards. Loving that card mill. And it's not just that. As long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, some whole decks are going to revolve around putting cards in the graveyard. Like cycling, just saying. Thieves Guild Enforcer gets +2/+1 and has Death Touch. So we've got Death Touch synergy. This then becomes a 3/2 with flash for 1 mana that mills an opponent. I love it. Great card. Love it. More cards like this. Not like this. Barle-Rattle Shaman. 'Tis a 2/2 for 3 and a red. It's a Goblin Shaman. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have target creature get +2/0 until end of turn. So you could make it a 4/2 with its own ability or something else, which is going to go through. Why not? Importantly, though, it works with Snoop, which is like Goblin Snoopy card we've seen in a previous video, that will gain that ability, which I think is dead good if it is on the top. So yes, a bit of fun. But, you know, is it the most powerful card ever? No, it's a lovely reprint, though. What is a good Goblin card, though, is Brash Taunter. It is a 1/1 for 4 and a red. What? 5 mana for a 1/1? Goblin. It has Indestructible, though. Okay. And whenever Brash Taunter is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to a target opponent. Ah, yes. This is the blocker / attacker that everyone wants. And for 2 and a red, you can tap it and it can just fight another target creature. So it's just going to fight a big old creature, get all the damage, deal that to the opponent. It's going to punish an opponent for having a big blocker, a big creature in the way. Nice. Really like it. Just, yeah, nice card. Talking about nice red cards. This. Subira, Tulzidi, Caravanner is a 2/3 for 2 and a red. Human Shaman. Legendary. So suddenly, I've already said to people that I've seen this card, this is a red commander that you need to build around. It's haste. I mean, first of all, pack 1, pick 1 if you're limited. I would absolutely pick this card. It's hasted. Great. And for 1, you don't have to tap. It's just for 1. Another target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked. For 1 mana, whoosh, there you go. Whoosh, that's the noise. For 1 and a red and tapping Subira and discarding your hand, which in some red decks, if not most red decks, you probably aren't going to have a problem with, Until end of turn, whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So you've got 3 cards, you've got 3 creatures with power 2 or less, and you've got 5 mana. You've got no cards in hand. You're spending all 5 mana. You're drawing 3 cards. You're dealing 3 creatures worth of damage without anyone stopping you. Yeah. Love it. Another great red card is Terror of the Peaks, a 5/4 for 3 red dragon with flying, because all dragons need flying. It's got wings. Spells your opponents cast that target Terror of the Peaks cost an additional 3 life to cast. No one wants to pay 3 life, especially if you've just been facing a red deck. That is damn good. So it's got a bit of its own protection in there. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So again, what a card. This is a finisher. This is a game winner. Big bomb, down it comes. 5/4 flyer that you don't want to get rid of. And whenever you play other creatures, this is just pinging the opponent, all their creatures, all their planeswalkers. Yes. Talking about yes, we've got a reprint of Colossal Dreadmaw. It's a 6/6 for 4, green with trample. Who doesn't love a trampoly dinosaur? Nice. Feline Sovereign. 2/3 for 2 and a green. This cat synergy is here. It is a cat, and other cats get +1/+1 and have protection from dogs. Of course. Whenever 1 or more cats you control deal combat damage to a player, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment that player controls. Nice little additional benefit there. Would have been fine with just a +1/+1 and protection from dogs, but like that extra fun little card. If you really like cats, why not? Ranger's Guile, another little reprint for 1. 1 green, it's an instant. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof until end of turn. Nice. Solid. Sabertooth Mauler is a cat. 3/3 for 3 and a green at the beginning of your end step. If a creature died this turn, again, more of those sacrifice and death triggers, put a 1/1 counter on Sabertooth Mauler and untap it. Pretty good. Pretty good. A nice card that's just going to sit there, going to grow, going to block and attack. Nice. What is nice? Sporeweb Weaver, a 1/4 for 2 and a green. It's a spider, in case the picture didn't give that away. And obviously it has reach, because what spiders don't have reach in the Magic verse. Hexproof from blue. Nice little benefit. And whenever Sporeweb Weaver is dealt damage, you gain 1 life. And you create a 1/1 green Saprolling creature token. I've said before on different videos, I have a little cheeky Saprolling deck, a little Garve deck, and I just love throwing cards that have the word Saprolling on it, in it. So there you go. Like it. It gets dealt some damage. It's got 4 toughness, so it can take a bit, and you gain 1 life, and you create a Saprolling. So opponent's going to think twice about necessarily attacking if this can block. Now look at this happy boy. Look at it. What a card. Now, the artwork on this is lovely. The colours are great. Look at it with its little mushrooms in its basket. Its weird little tattooy face. It's a 2/2 for 2 and a green. It's a boar. When Truffle Snout enters the battlefield, choose 1. Put a 1/1 counter on Truffle Snout. We've seen counter synergy. And you gain 3 life. We've also seen a bunch of cards that benefit from gaining 3 life. Gain 4 life. You really benefit from gaining 3 life in a turn. So this could really benefit that. I mean, I like the fact you can get a counter off of it. Could be a 3/3 for 3, which is okay. But I think gaining that 4 life instantly might just make this card good in some decks. What is good in some decks, talking about counters, is the Wildwood Scourge. Is a 0/0 green Hydra, because there's that one guy we all know in Wizards of the Coast that's doing those Hydras. Got to keep him in business. Wildwood Scourge enters the battlefield with X 1/1 counters on it. Fine. Whenever 1 or more 1/1 counters are put on another non-Hydra creature you control, put a 1/1 counter on Wildwood Scourge. So as soon as you whack counters on things, this is growing. You could get a mean counter deck, certainly in your green-white Selesnya colours. And if you do, Conclave Mentor needs to be in on it. It's a 2/2 for green-white. Centaur Cleric. If one or more 1/1 counters are put on a creature you control, put that many plus 1/1 counters on it, +1. And when Conclave Mentor dies, you gain life equal to its power. Gaining 2 life when it dies, adding 1 to all the counters you're putting on things. If you've built a counter deck, which I think will definitely be an archetype in this set, why not? Nyambi Esteemed Speaker is a 2/1 for white-blue. Legendary creature, human cleric with flash. When Nyambi Esteemed Speaker enters the battlefield, you may return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, you gain life equal to the creature's converted mana cost. And for 1 white-blue, you can tap it and discard a legendary card to draw 2 cards. Now, as I said before, some cards like being in the graveyard. Some cards have great ETB effects, in which case that's what you want. It could just be that it's flash. You want to get in on the end of their turn because you're playing a blue-white control. Why not? An interesting card. I think with some synergies could be really powerful. Again, if you like your blue-white flyers, Watcher of the Spheres is a 2/2 for white-blue. Bird Wizard with flying and creature spells with flying you cast cost 1 less to cast. And whenever another creature with flying enters the battlefield under your control, Watcher of the Spheres gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. I like it. I like the artwork. I think it's cool. I like what it's all about. And I like the card. Yes, please, blue-white flyers. And we're back to the beginning. So there you go, guys. An actually recorded version of this video as opposed to whatever it was I tried to do earlier. Some more great cards. I think what I'm liking most about this set is that I'm getting excited about all the colours at the moment. Like, I want to play all the colours. There's some fantastic cards, some good low mana, some good finishes, some good synergy throughout. Yeah, it feels like a fun core set, and I'm not sure yet what the situation in the world will be, whether or not we'll be able to in-person draft, or if it will be on Arena, or we're just going to have to get boxes and do it at home. But I love it. And if you do want to get a box, shameless plug for DoubleSleeved.co.uk, which is a website that helps set up with a few buds, cheap cards basically for standard. It's a fairly new company. Really appreciate your support. Best way of supporting this channel for sure. Or you can like and subscribe to this video. We'd really appreciate it if you did. These videos are fun. They do take a bit of time and a bit of effort and all that jazz. Pretending like it's not easy and not great, and I love it. So, you know, either way, we're making these videos. We try and get a couple of videos out a week. So if you like MTG content, you're a bit of a nerd like I am, then I'm sure you'll love these videos. Either way, thank you very much. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.